Good friends and legendary guitar gods Joe Satriani and Steve Vai hosted the second benefit concert in support of music industry veteran Cliff Cultreri on July 10th at the House of Blues in Hollywood, with all proceeds going to Cliff's medical expenses. The benefit billed as Joe Satriani, Steve Vai, and Friends also included the likes of Dweezil Zappa, Orianthi, Brendan Small, and Tony McAlpine, who all came to support Cultreri. Cliff Cultreri is the A&R executive who discovered both Satriani and Vai, as well as many other popular recording artists, including Peter Frampton, Megadeth, Anthrax, Slash's Snake Pit, The Cure, Common, RZA, and Fat Joe. Cultreri is suffering from a host of autoimmune and connective tissue disorders that are simultaneously attacking his immune system, a 1 in 100 million occurrence that causes severe pain and physical debilitations. In 2006, Satriani and Vai hosted their first Cliff Cultreri benefit show, and it was a major success, bringing in over $100,000 to support Cliff's growing medical expenses, as well as brought attention to this devastating disease. Just before taking the stage, Joe and Steve sat down with Artisan News to share their thoughts on what Cliff meant to each of their careers.
Well, back when I was a young man and I was recording music in my backyard that I didn't think anybody was ever going to listen to or care to listen to, I got enough material to put a record together, and no label would sign me. And I realized that if I went around the record company and just went directly to a distributor, that I'd have more control and I'd be able to keep my intellectual property. But how do you find a distributor? I sent my music out to every one of them, and then one of them called back, and it was this label called, a distributor called Important Records, and it was this guy, Cliff Cultreri. And Cliff, he was so different than any other kind of record company personality I ever met, because he was really excited about the guitar and about gear and about the artist that he liked. And he really championed my first little solo record. I mean, if it wasn't for him, you hear it's a cliche, but if it wasn't for him, I just have no idea what would have happened.
I wound up meeting Cliff through Steve. Steve called one night and said, "You're never going to believe this, but some guy wants to put out, Flexible, And after we talked about that for a while, he said, if they're crazy enough to do that, they're probably crazy enough to put out your record. So by then, I'd also had my own label, and I'd put a record together. Turned out to be Not of This Earth, and Cliff, crazy guitar player, total music head, happened to work at this label. And he was, my advocate and every other guitar player's advocate that he brought into that label.
Vai and Satriani also talked about the first benefit show being such a major success that it was time to hold another one since Cliff's condition, although treatable, has worsened.
Well, it was a great success, monetarily. Unfortunately, we have to do another one. That's the tragedy of it, is that Cliff's medical condition is getting worse, and the medical establishment and any programs that are still left here in this country are not doing a good job at serving citizens who are desperately in need of help. So here we are again. I hate to say we're here again with a great lineup to try to raise money to improve his condition.
Orianthi, who is very close with Steve Vai, also talked about her thoughts on being asked to be a part of Cliff's benefit show.
I was invited by Steve Vai. I've known him for quite a while, and he asked if I'd be part of it. And of course, it's a great thing to try to help out with one of his friends' medical bills, and getting together, all of us, and just jamming out, and it's gonna be a fun night for a really good cause.
The show was streamed live on GuitarTV.com, and the virtual concert ticket to see the show was priced at $5.99, with all proceeds going directly to Cliff Cultreri's medical fund. In addition to the musical event, Satriani and Vai, along with other artists, graciously donated various items that were auctioned at the show, as well as an open auction running online. The online auction runs July 5th through the 15th and can be viewed at satriani.com/benefitforcliff2.